You have the infrastructure saying, I'm an institution, what do I need to own? No PooPoo coins, just Bitcoin and Ethereum. There are thousands of altcoins or rat coins they're called, and PooPoo coins, you know, it turns out that even though some of them have a use case, if you're an investor and now all of a sudden you get the Clarity Act and you're an institution and you decide to put a 3% to 5% weighting like you would in gold, I'm talking pension and sovereign wealth funds, the data tells you something very stark. It says all you have to own to capture 90% of all of the crypto market's alpha or pricing volatility is simply Bitcoin and Ethereum. You don't need anything else. And so this is really, really hard medicine for all of the people that sponsored all of these other chains and other platforms, because now they face the reality, which I think is a cleansing, a good thing, a spatula cleaning from all that PooPoo coin out there that's just pure speculation. The PooPoo coins aren't going to come back.
If you hold meme coins or low market cap gems in crypto, you need to listen to this video. It is a widely held belief that the Clarity Act and other legislations is going to wipe out an entire sector of crypto, the scratch-off lottery ticket sector of crypto. Many people are rightly so freaking out that they might have been over leveraged with meme coins and gaming coins and not focusing enough on the altcoins. And ever since losing so much money in crypto at the end of the 2021 bull run, I was over leveraged and over invested in meme coins and gaming coins and NFT projects. I was not diversified enough. I switched my portfolio, and even to the point now where I've sold out of almost everything meme related to shift into more profitable areas of crypto. And now this isn't financial advice, but I'm going to share with you guys some of those strategies towards the end of this video as we get through the rest of this news. But crypto Twitter is reacting, saying crypto is dead and this is the bottom. And other people are pointing out that that is when there's blood in the streets, is when you do buy. Again, if it doesn't have utility, it doesn't have use case, you need to ask yourself, what are you buying? The big players are here. The institutions are here. JP Morgan is saying that it's sticking to its Bitcoin versus gold model target, which puts Bitcoin at $170,000 over the next year. And as the institutions flood in more, Bitcoin and Ethereum dominance is where they are headed. So let me ask you again, is your portfolio misdiversified? Are you holding too much in meme coins or gaming coins? Are you holding on to dust bags from the last crypto cycle that you're waiting to come back around? And if so, are you willing to take a percentage of that portfolio and put it into something that's actually winning today? We'll talk about it a little later on in this video, but you guys know what to do first. Give me a comment, 777 down below, if you're feeling bullish, if you're feeling blessed, and you're ready to live your best life and be the first millionaire in your family. Smash that like button, hit subscribe to affirm it, and let's run into the video. And while it's true, Kevin O'Leary makes a great point that there is a purge taking place in crypto with things like the Clarity Act passing and these guardrails being put into place. There's no doubt about it, the liquidity is flowing in. $398 billion National Bank of Canada just revealed that they have bought a ton of Strategy, 1.47 million shares to be exact. Larry Fink has just said that nobody should be surprised if Bitcoin hits $700,000. A milestone for XRP was just reached, and this is just the beginning, folks. XRP ETFs have just crossed over $1 billion in total volume at the end of this week. That's 473 million XRP now locked in regulated vaults. That's about 0.5% of the supply, but this is the system, this is the product that was developed to be the pipeline. Listen to what SEC Chair Paul Atkins has to say here about the tokenization of everything and how fast it's coming.
Tokenization is the idea of using then smart contracts or tokens on chain to be able to, that represent, say, an underlying security. And so then that tokenized security is a security and would be subject to SEC rules by law. But the idea is that if it's on chain, on a blockchain, then there's much more transparency as to where it is. Right now, there's a bit of opacity as to who owns what, and where the company usually doesn't even know where its who its shareholders are and where the where the shareholders reside, where the shares reside. So tokenization has the benefit of potentially having, instead of T+1 now trade date +1 for clearance and settlement, the prospect of maybe T0. Now, depending on the instrument, and we have to think about netting and all sorts of other things with respect to some instruments. But in principle, the idea of on-chain delivery versus payment and receipt versus payment, DVP, RVP on-chain, is a prospect of de-risking the markets, making them much more transparent and then sure as far as clearance and settlement, because it's always that the gap between clearance and settlement and then delivery and payment is the real introduces risk into the system.
Do you expect this is where financial services is going? Are the major banks and the brokers out there today moving increasingly toward tokenization?
Oh, absolutely, and it's the way the world will be. Here in maybe not even in 10 years, maybe even a lot less time, maybe a couple of years from now. So I think that all of this modernization of the markets, I think, is good. And the trouble that we've seen here over the past few years is that the SEC, unlike historically, it never was necessarily at the vanguard of pushing new innovations. It was always a little bit behind the market, of course. But here recently, it's been almost standing athwart the marketplace, and as it's as all these new innovations were coming about. So that's no more. We're actually embracing it, and I believe that we need to be embracing it to keep the United States at the forefront. As far as cryptocurrencies and whatnot, there were really only 2 countries in the world here in the last few years that were working to make cryptocurrencies illegal, and that was Communist China and the U.S. through the SEC. So that's changed. It's a new day now, and so we want to embrace this new technology.
Tokenization just went from if to when, and it's happening closer than you think. It's happening so fast that this is the switch that people are saying has been flipped to turn on Agenda 2030. I don't want to jump down the rabbit hole on all the conspiracy theory news that's out there, but on the surface, it does look plausible. A crypto control grid. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. What chain is going to be the system that's going to circumvent the mark of the beast, if that's what you believe? Everything does look to be lining up for this system. This is everything that's public information right now. Guaranteed income pilot programs, not just New York, but Boulder and California. Counties approving $500 monthly payouts starting in 2026. States quietly launching digital ID platforms. Trump's new Genesis mission tying satellites, AI, digital identity, and authentication into one infrastructure. What could that infrastructure be? And the infamous 060606 patent, a body activity-based cryptocurrency system. Are you guys familiar with WBAN, wireless body area network systems? If you aren't, that's a rabbit hole I suggest you go down. At the end of the day, people are seeking answers. They're seeking an edge. They want an advantage. Members of our Altcoin Pro University are continuously getting news up to the date, breaking crypto news, market updates, altcoin picks, DeFi yield picks, all this stuff at the drop of a hat. Getting into classes where they can learn ironclad crypto security strategy, technical analysis essentials, crypto tax mastery, and jumping into DeFi and so much more. One of the biggest ways I'm seeing people diversify right now is by getting into day trading, allocating more of their portfolio away from meme coins and PooPoo coins, whatever else you want to call them, but actually putting their money into something that actually earns money. Breakout is a prop firm that offers the opportunity to take a test for a small amount, anywhere from $50 to $1,000. Once you pass that test, you're going to get a prop firm funded account of real money that you can invest with, that you can day trade with, anywhere from $5,000 to $100,000 account. I know this sounds interesting, and I'm going to get back into it in just a moment here, but first, let's get a quick market overview update for the weekend here. Going to CoinMarketCap, we are at $3.06 trillion for the total cryptocurrency market cap. We saw a little bit of a pullback yesterday on a Friday. Fear and greed is sitting at a 21. Altcoin season index is also at a 21, and chopping sideways is the altcoin total market cap at $1.26 trillion. When we jump over into trading view, the first thing we're going to take a look at here is Bitcoin that had dropped all the way down to about $87,000 yesterday, $88,000 on this chart. It touched off of a very strong area of support, which is that $87,000 to $88,000 green line you guys can see right there. And even more importantly is that 1100 EMA ribbon that's down here, still in that $74,000, $72,000 range. Again, should we break to the downside? That's where I'm looking for us to go. And I should also preface this by saying these are my charts, not your charts. So they're not financial advice. They're just simply here to give you a little bit more of a well-rounded perspective. So don't buy Bitcoin or anything because I'm talking about it. Do your own research, do your own due diligence. What we're looking for as far as retail is concerned is Ethereum, the others category, even Solana. There is some strength, more so in Ethereum. You can see that we've held some support right around that $3,000 level. We are above the 1100 EMA. We are still bullish on the Wolfpack indicator here. Again, this is going to be the chain where most of the retail is going to flood to first. Solana has been more prevalent in retail in the last 2 to 3 years, obviously because of its cheap gas fees, but it's also been rife with scam coins and pump funds and all that sorts of stuff that's out there. And that is why this legislation does need to come in. I hate to be the one to play devil's advocate here, but if you're sitting on a bag and waiting for it to go to the moon and it's not doing anything for you, what is the harm in diversifying that portfolio and getting into other vehicles, particularly day trading, but even DeFi yield projects and things like that? It is true that during an altcoin bull run, you can see 10x pretty easily on a lot of different projects. It's also true that during a meme coin bull run, you can see 10,000x. It absolutely happens. But for every 10,000x winner that's out there, there's a million x losers that are funding that bag. It's FOMO driven, right? It's psychology of a market cycle. If you were lucky enough to get in very early, at a low market cap and watch all of these other people go up through optimism, belief, thrill, and euphoria, and you didn't even sell anything along the way to get to your 1,000 or 10,000x on those coins, that's great. When you get up here, where's the liquidity? How thick is the liquidity? And has the project rug pulled? When it comes to pump fund, these things happen in a matter of minutes. This is why people are sick and tired of Solana and even Binance's crime coin season, and they are looking back to Ethereum. Hence the strength that we see on Ethereum right now. We're not back above the 50 EMA, so we've got a little bit of time to get back up there. We've got a little bit of a catalyst that needs to happen, which could be seen in early 2026 with maybe stimulus checks, quantitative easing pumping into the markets. And a bigger metric that I'm looking at to suggest that retail might actually come back into the PooPoo coins is going to be all others. This is all other cryptocurrencies against Bitcoin with the exception of the top 10. And if you zoom out on the daily candles here, you can see we have been in a downward trending resistance all the way since the early 2022 start of that bear market. When things ran down, retail just never came back. This is the dust coins that are sitting in people's wallets that were $1,000 and now worth $10, or even worse. I know people with $50,000 bags that they've watched round trip down to $1,000 simply because they believed the narrative and they believed in the project and they believed in the devs, which are nowhere to be found. They're not on Telegram, they're not on Twitter, they have no more project anymore. But hey, cool game, bro. Thanks a lot. Guys, this is what it comes down to. It's smart money makes money. Dumb money doesn't make money. Scared money doesn't make money. Smart money makes money. And smart money is well-diversified portfolios. The majority of investors are rotating into Bitcoin and even a little bit into Ethereum. And some people are focusing on XRP because of the massive inflows that we are seeing from the ETFs. And so when you look at XRP, yes, we had a little bit of a pullback yesterday, just like everybody else did, but we didn't go down too far. We went down to about that $2 mark, just barely touching off of it and bouncing off of it again. We have good support down there following the same trend as Bitcoin right now. We still have that 1100 EMA ribbon all the way down here, and that puts us at about $1.52, $1.51, something like that, should we run to the downside before a major push to the upside, right? And all of these things are possible before another bull run ensues, whether that's Q1 or Q2 of 2026 or 4 years from now. Again, so we got to look where we could go for downside risk. Same thing with Bitcoin, where we could go for the upside from there. Well, that's when we just start looking at our fib extensions. Bitcoin at a 1618 from the cycle high to the low retracement that we had earlier this year puts us at 130,000, a 2618, 165,000. Both of those are below Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase's predictions themselves. And as far as XRP is concerned, running the same thing. We'll look at a 1618 from the last high to the cycle low, and that puts us a little bit below the high that we've seen already. A 2618 puts us up about the $4.66 range. And if you get a full extension, 4236 extension, puts us at about $7.37, $7.50. That is not out of the realm of possibilities once we enter price discovery, but I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow again, right? We need a catalyst. We need a major shift in cryptocurrency. We need money to be flowing in. It's likely not going to happen without some kind of quantitative easing or stimulus money to pump that, just like we saw in 2021. So in the meantime, you've decided wisely that you want to diversify your portfolio and you're looking to get into day trading. I've got one more question for you.
What if you could trade with $100,000 without ever risking any of your own capital? Well, I'm doing it right now, trading a 100K funded account with zero of my own money on the line. I just paid a one-time evaluation fee to take a trading test. That's it. Because everyone's been asking us, how do I get crypto loans? Or how do you leverage trade without risking any of your own capital? Well, that's exactly why we're leveraging Breakout, which is a crypto prop trading firm recently acquired by Kraken with over 10 million clients, 2.5 million funded accounts, and over $1.5 billion in revenue in 2024 alone. They will fund you up to $200,000 after passing one simple trading test. And you get to keep up to 90% of the profit, and you can withdraw in USDC 24/7 after passing the trading test through the link in the description of this video. Now, here's the problem that I've seen most people face. Let's say you're trading with $10,000 of your own money. That's your rent. That's your groceries. That's an emergency fund. And one bad trade or black swan event and poof, your account is completely blown. Rent's late, savings is wiped, and your family is stressed out. So you're not trading to win. Trading your own money is trading for survival. Whereas trading with 100K of risk-free capital is freedom. In fact, if you only have $10,000, you should never be trading with all of that. Instead, if you took just 10%, which is $1,000, and you buy the 100K or the 200K breakout test, and you pass the test, well, you're going to be trading with six figures without depositing or risking any of your own money. This is what I'm doing right now. And if you fail the test, you only lose $1,000 instead of your $10,000 because you shouldn't even be trading with $10,000 of your own money in the first place if you can't pass a simple $1,000 trading test. And the best part is there's no limit on retries. So that $1,000 can give you 10 shots at a 100K account if you fail the first few. That's 10x better risk management. And that's how you prove you actually know what you're doing. And this is the smartest strategy that the best traders in the world use. That's OPM, other people's money. You pass the test, you trade Kraken's money, and you get to keep up to 90% of the profits. And you can withdraw USDC on demand 24/7. So I paid, I passed, and now I'm trading 100K, and it only cost me $1,000 rather than risking $100,000 of my own money. And now it's your turn. So do not buy the small test. You're here to scale your portfolio fast. So here's exactly what you need to do right now. I left a link in the description of this video, and when you click it and select the classic one-step 100K or 200K account test, you simply click Start Trading, and then you enter in the affiliate code 777 on your checkout to get the maximum discount on your 100K or 200K funded account. And make sure to check the add-on box for the 90% profit split. It's only $100 extra. It pays for itself in your first payout. And if you skip it, you're leaving 10% on the table forever. So it's well worth it. Then you simply pay for the test, you pass it, you have an unlimited time frame, and you get to keep up to 90% of the profits. And again, you can withdraw in USDC anytime that you want after you pass the test. That's it. Now, we do earn a small commission when you use our code 777, but it supports value-based videos like this, and it'll help you get the maximum discount on your 100K or 200K funded account test. So click the link in the description right now, take the test, and let's get you funded.
Guys, remember that code 777. Let's see where XRP and where Bitcoin and the rest of crypto is going to go. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.